Well, good morning. We are ready to pull out of San Diego, California. I've spent about the last week here in San Diego, got a lot of good time in, quality time with close friends and family. I got the van all organized and ready to go, so we're fueled up. I just stopped here at this little scenic viewpoint on the outskirts of East County, San Diego. Nice little view behind me. We're going to be driving about 2 hours through the mountains down into the desert and stop in a town called Holtville, California, and probably camp there for a night, maybe two. Got a hot spring there and a lot of BLM land you can camp for free up to 14 days. So we're going to go check it out. I have camped there before. It's always worked out good for me. So we'll see how it goes. The adventure continues. All right, here we go. Was able to change the oil in the van while I was in San Diego. Glad to have that done. And away we go. Well, I ended up going into the hot spring and spent a good couple hours soaking. There's a pretty good sized group here. A couple big school buses pulled in, and so there's a big group down at the hot spring, but I managed to get a little spot in there. Very, very relaxing. But while I was hanging out in the hot spring, the winds just really picked up, and I'm talking like 50-mile-an-hour gusts at least. Sandstorm type conditions. You just feel the sand pelting you on the skin. So it's dying down a little bit, but we'll see if it can at least give you a shot of the trees here blowing in the wind. It's been really intense, and just about a half hour ago, I mean, you can see a little haze, but it was just solid brown in the sky just from the sandstorms. So I'm still here at the hot spring parking lot. Probably gonna hang out for just a little bit and then go find a camp spot before it gets too dark. But yeah, I'm just gonna let this wind die down a little bit and get organized here in the van, go find a place to camp. And yeah, this is probably just going to be an overnight spot for me. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of driving tomorrow. I'm going to try to get up early in the morning. Hopefully this wind dies down overnight. And I'm going to be making a little progress heading east, get some miles behind me, and we'll see what we can find for camping. All right, let's go find a camp spot. I didn't realize I was probably in that hot spring for, geez, good 3 hours. I do always make sure to drink a ton of water when I soak in hot springs because they can dehydrate you. Man, I feel super relaxed. I feel like I'm gonna sleep really good. Let's go find this BLM area. Like I mentioned coming in, this is a long-term visitor area right here. You need a permit to camp. Ooh. This road is all messed up. So we're gonna go under the freeway here, and they've got some free camping. Up to 14 days. This is just gonna be an overnight for me though. I am going to try to get a few miles behind me tomorrow and should get us up into some actual forest. Yes, Arizona does have forests. I have been to this spot quite a few times, so I've got a little secret route I like to use. I like to use this canal road. Whenever I go the other main dirt road, I always get turned around, so I scoot down this little ways and then cut in. It's one of those areas where if you're using GPS coordinates to find a specific spot, there's so many little dirt roads in here, and a lot of them are really soft. It's really easy to get going down the wrong one. GPS will not send you down a direct route, and you will probably get lost or stuck in the sand. I've really started to not use GPS coordinates or even a GPS unit in my travels anymore. I'm just kind of reverted back to maps and just kind of going on my own instinct. This looks like a reasonable spot. Looks like there's a little trash left behind. We'll pick that up and take that trash with us when we depart tomorrow. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's do it. Well, we are waking up to a beautiful morning. The wind has died down. Although it's supposed to be breezy again today, nothing like yesterday. That windstorm was intense. Sun is just coming up over the horizon here. Very beautiful. Kind of nestled in these little hills here with the shrubs. Because I am going to be doing a little bit of driving today, I'm going to try to get in, well, for one, out of California and into the Prescott National Forest in Arizona. So I've got a good 4 hours of driving ahead of me, maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to see how many miles I can get behind me and find a camp. It's very likely that I won't actually get into the National Forest today, but I'll get pretty close and then be able to find a camp, get up the next morning. It's a little chilly there still. They're having some low temperatures in the high 30s, which is doable for me as long as it warms up during the day. Looks like the daytime temps up in the mid 60s, so that should work for me. And yeah, it's going to be nice to get into some trees. I've been hanging out in the desert for quite a bit, so yeah, we'll go ahead and get some coffee going, a little light breakfast, and think about getting out of here. Stink bug. He's moaning me. He's stinky. We'll take a walk down to the hot spring, give you guys a quick glimpse. It's kind of a neat little area. It's all surrounded by these palm trees. It's cool. This little pond here is basically the overflow of the hot spring, and they've got signs posted that you're not supposed to swim in here. It's kind of neat, like a little lagoon or something. Because this is the overflow of the hot spring, it should be a little warm. Yep, it's actually nice. I don't know why they don't allow swimming. Wow, look at all the fish in there. You guys can see that. See those fish? So this hot spring is a concrete pool. It's piped in. There's a geothermal hot spring. That hot spring comes out at about 120 degrees, so it's a pretty warm hot spring. The first pool that's directly pumped in from the hot spring is hotter, and then there's like a little overflow pool that's a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, like I said yesterday, I took a good long soak, feeling renewed, revived, refreshed. So let's get on the road, do this. Alrighty, see ya, Holtville Hot Springs. Oh, looks like our school bus friends pulled in here. They were here yesterday. You guys can see them. It's a big family. Parents, kids, brothers, sisters, they all travel together in these big school buses. Kind of neat. All right, well that was a good little overnight spot. That hot spring was a little treat. I think this might have to do it. Kind of been up and down this road a little ways, saw a few spots. This one seems to have the best cell signal, so I can try to upload a video this evening. Dang, it's pretty level there. Cool, that'll work. Well, we'll give you a shot of this spot. It's nothing really spectacular, just kind of pulled off this dirt road here. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of trash. Looked like somebody dumped some roofing shingles. And there's all that white fuzzy stuff. Looks like it was probably the innards of some furniture or something. Well, I had a little piece of wood laying around and I kind of got busy carving away on it. It wasn't really wide enough to do a normal, wide bowl spoon, so I thought I'd make kind of a thicker one for a good mixing spoon, just for like stirring and not necessarily eating with. So far I think it's turning out good. This real treat here with this nice dark piece of grain coming through there. Very nice. Still very rough, so I'm just going to continue to refine it, smooth it out. Well, on my past videos where I've showed myself carving spoons like this, I have got a lot of questions about the tools I use, and just wanted to throw it out there. Maybe you guys can leave in the comments in this video. If you guys are, if there's enough of you interested in this, I could probably do a video kind of explaining the process, why I use the knives I use, which knives I use, the type of woods that I prefer, and why I like to carve spoons. I don't know really why I pick spoons. There was just something attractive to me about it. I have used wooden utensils in the kitchen quite a bit for cooking, and I've just always preferred wooden utensils. Mixing spoons, wooden spatulas and that. And I figured if I was going to be carving wood, I might as well carve something that's functional, that can be used. And y'all know I love to cook, so that's kind of how I arrived at this. And, one of the things I really love about carving wood, especially this style of carving, I use green wood, which is fresher. It's still wet, it's not totally dried out, which makes it very easy to carve, and you can really work with the grain a lot easier, and it also helps the finished product dry more evenly, so you prevent any cracks or that. And when it comes to a utensil, you definitely don't want any cracks in it because it would weaken it, and it could break while you're using it. So I have done a lot of research on this. I do have a really good book I could recommend. And yeah, so if you guys are interested, I could definitely do a video on that. Probably would just cater to a small percentage of y'all, but I've been thinking of doing that. So a little bit of encouragement from you guys, and just might do a video on that. It's just one of those things that you can pretty much do anywhere as long as you've got your tools with you and some wood. And what I really like about the lifestyle I'm living is I spend all my time out here in nature, and it's just very, very, very comforting. It's like a meditation for me. I'm able to focus on what I'm doing, but also take a very quick second just to look around at my surroundings and realize where I am and how awesome it is just to be out here living the way I'm living. So I really get a lot of peace from it, and I get a lot of satisfaction with this finished product. And overall, it's very therapeutic. It's very good for building hand dexterity. You really build a lot of mind-hand coordination. Of course, using sharp knives is very dangerous, so you really tend to just focus and be in the moment, which is a very, very great place to be. Like this piece here, I mentioned it wasn't the most ideal piece of wood to start with. I felt it was a little too narrow, but I made the best of it, and I think this will actually be a functional spoon. I think it'll be really good for just, if you're just cooking and you need something to stir with, not necessarily to serve with, but a good stirring spoon. You could scoop some stuff out with this. If you had something in a pot or a pan, you could definitely use it to scoop it out. And yeah, I just think it's probably going to end up very, very nice with this wood grain here. I don't know how well that's showing up. It's got that nice dark streak of grain there, and then there's a little piece of it in the bowl itself, which is cool. So I'm just going to keep refining this, smoothing it out. Basically the process of how I do spoon carving is I kind of get to a rough point like this, and then I just go in, and it becomes a very delicate process. You're just barely kind of putting pressure on the knife and just very lightly taking off small pieces of wood. And a lot of spoon carvers, they like to leave it rough with the knife, the carving marks on it. I like to go in with a little bit of sandpaper. You still see some of the carving marks, but it really smooths out, and the finished product, once you treat it with an oil, really turns out looking nice. I'm just going to continue on here. Probably just keep going till the sun starts to set. Give you a shot of sunset there, and be cooling off enough where I can crawl in the van and get some dinner going. At the end of the day, got a new utensil. Well, that's where I ended up with the spoon. The sun is starting to set, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits. Maybe I'll do a little sanding on it. Give you a shot of the sun starting to set there. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate you coming along for the ride. I hope everyone is doing well out there, and we'll see you very soon in the next video. Take care. Peace.